Hey besties, welcome in. My name is Sabrina, for those of you who do not know me yet. And it is time that we talk about the August TBR. Now, I have not done a TBR video in a while, and honestly, it's because, well, two reasons. One is that I've been doing this like completely delusional thing where I'm like, here's the 30 books I'm going to read this month. The second is because I have been keeping it real loosey-goosey this summer and just kind of like making a pile of possibilities and not really possibly getting to a lot of them. But I feel like I really want to like tighten things up around here. I want to get back to what I like doing, which is having a list of books that I'm going to read. And so I would really love to pull out the TBR jar, but the truth is, I just have so many things that I have like planned for myself to read, either because I want to complete a reading challenge or I want to push myself personally, that like I don't have time for a TBR jar to decide my fate. You can see I've got quite the stack behind me, and I have other books that are like on my Kindle only that I want to read like ASAP. So I think what I want to do is I want to get through this stack of books here. Hopefully I can do all of that in August. Hopefully. I'm planning on having a really productive reading month in August. So hopefully I can get through all the things that I'm in the middle of trying to like hold space in my brain to get through. And then in September, as a reward for that, I can pull out the trusty TBR jar because I miss it. I don't know about you guys, but I do miss it. So grab yourself a drink. We're going to get comfy cozy and we're going to go through my August TBR. Let's start off with the arcs that I have to read because these are like currently consuming my Kindle. And I feel like once I get through like a good stack of the physical books that I've been wanting to read, I want to have like 2-week time period where I do nothing but read arcs because your girl has fallen behind. And I do feel really bad about that. So here are the arcs that I hopefully will get through in the month of August. The first one is called Rain, and this is by Bethan Kroom, I think. This one is a fantasy. It sounded really interesting. It's spelled rain like royal rain, but in this kingdom, there's nothing but rain, like rain falling from the sky. It's a very wet, soggy place. And I think the thing that drew me in on NetGalley to this was it said, the kingdom of Leoness is absent of magic, but not of rain. In the rain-soaked kingdom, magic is outlawed, punishable by death. And I was like, absolutely yes, because we know we're going to have best friends using magic here, and it's going to be real scurry. And I'm like, yes, I want to read that. So sign me up. That's like one of the ones that I'm going to read in August, like for sure. And that one releases on September 1st. Then I have Ideal Life by Evelyn Skye. This one presents our main character with the opportunity to turn back her life for 24 hours. You can jump back 24 hours in time and like undo a mistake. And like, y'all know I go hard for anything that's like time travel-esque related. Like, I just love something like that. If I could jump back 24 hours and redo something, I'm like, what would I pick? Because in this book, you only get one do-over. And I'm like, my God, what would I pick? Like, that sounds so intriguing. So I'm excited for that one. This one is releasing on August 18th. Then there's Library of Forbidden Books by Mario Escobar. This one is actually, I'm reading this as part of the Camp NetGalley Challenge, which is a summer thing that they do every summer. And you get a cool little badge next to your name. So I want a badge. So I picked up a book to read for that. So in this one, it's taking place in Berlin in like 1933, 32, 33 under the German occupation. So there was not a German occupation in Berlin because Berlin is in Germany, Sabrina. I don't know what I was trying to say there. But anyway, so this takes place there. There's a librarian. She's basically trying to protect the books. One thing about me is I love a good historical fiction. And if it involves books and libraries, I will be there. I'll be at the table reading it. Okay. So this is right up my alley and I cannot wait to read this. I rarely see books in this area that are written by male authors. So this is part of the reason why I was like, that's the one that I want to read because I want to see what the male perspective would be on this situation. And this one releases September 1st. Then I have one that's not from NetGalley. It's directly from the author. It's called Wedding Crashers. So this one is by Miriam Christina, and it's already published. So you can already go read this if you want to. And this one is about like a pair of friends who are on a mission to crash their friend's wedding and like stop it from happening. I don't remember why. I don't remember if like their partner was like a terrible person or something like that, and they were trying to stop it. But anyway, the two of them fall in love with each other on their quest to stop this wedding from happening. So, you know, I'm like, all right, I can use another light, fluffy romance situation. Like, that sounds good to me. So there's that one. Then we have To Dance with Death, which is book 2 in a duology. It's by Brittany Arena. And this one releases on August 4th. I do have the arc. I am not sure if I'm going to get to it before it releases, but it's the follow-up to A Dance of Lies. So I am going to read this and then read the follow-up To Dance with Death. I do have book 2 coming to me from L'Oreal, which is where book 1 is actually from. I have book 2 coming to me, but I'm also going to Brittany's release party for book 2. So I'll have 2 copies of book 2. It's okay. It's totally fine. So I got to get cracking because I need to reread this one before I read book 2. I'm going to be honest with you. I was in a place when I read this book, and there's so much of it that I don't really remember that I almost want to say I've not read this book. Like okay, so here we are. So I'm going to reread this one. So this is kind of like a 2-for-1. I'm going to be rereading this one, but really it's a first read because I just don't remember too much of it. So this is the overall story is about a dancer who was imprisoned, and then she was brought before the king to basically be entertainment and to serve as a spy. And she's using her dancing to kind of disguise her. I think one of the overarching parts of this is that she has a disability. And so it is disability rep, and it's just a lot of overcoming the disability and like not letting it limit you. So like that's kind of like the takeaway message from the series. So I really am excited to see where this goes. And that is the first physical book on my list this month. So hopefully I get book 2 in a timely manner so I can read it in the book format instead of on the Kindle format. And we can have a nice, cozy, like series knockout vlog about it. So stay tuned for that. Gotta quench my thirst really quick. Okay, so next victim on the list is Older by Jennifer Hartman. I don't know a whole lot about this except for it's a best friend's dad situation and it's a serious age gap situation. So, you know, I like my little slutty, like romance nonsense things. And this one is actually on my 26 and 26 because I bought this such a long time ago and it's very pretty. And I just feel like I need to read it now. It's giving summer vibes. I've got to get this off the list. And to be honest, my 26 and 26 is looking very much like I'm not going to finish it. So I really need to buckle down and get through that. This one was on my July TBR. This is the July TBR carryover. I have like a week left in July at the time that I'm filming this. I know for a fact I'm not going to get to this one. So it has to be read in August. Has to. There can be no excuse for not reading this in August. Then I have a book from the library that is Crush by Ada Calhoun. Y'all, I have no idea what this book is about. I was doing a reading challenge. Oh, it will have been the video that I posted just before this video that you're watching. So if you haven't seen my Herked reading vlog for the characters to authors prompt, go watch that. You'll understand the situation here. This was a book that I had to check out of the library because I needed it for a reading challenge, and then I ended up not needing it. There's a long story there, but whatever. So I truly don't even really know what this is about. I was looking for a book that was authored by someone named Ada, and I found one where I read the description and it sounded mildly interesting, and I was like, that's the one, check it out, let's get it for the challenge. And then I ended up not actually needing it. So I still have it at home. She's happy and productive in her full life with a child, a career, an admirable marriage, and deep friendships. She's the very model of good wife, mother, and daughter. But when her husband invites her to address what the narrow labels of husband and wife force them to edit out of their lives, the very best kind of hell breaks loose. Okay, so that's right. The description doesn't tell you too much, but I do think it's a very like deep exploration of marriage and like, what does that really mean? And like exploring your intimate feelings within marriage. I think that's what this is supposed to be about. It's pretty short, and I do want to read it now that I've checked it out of the library. But if I'm being honest, there's like 2 that I think like I may not get to. This is one of them. So we'll just see how it goes with Crush. Then I am doing a series of videos that are supposed to be on Instagram. I have recorded the first video. I never edited it and I never put it up. It was meant to go up in June. We're at the end of July. I have not recorded July's video yet. And here is August's book. And it's supposed to be maybe in another life. So I am planning to read this. In the week that's left in July, I'll be reading July's book and recording that video. I am planning on reading August's book in August. And since I'm so far behind, I think what I'll do is release them at the end of the summer and just be like, this is how I spent my summer, because I don't know how to salvage that at this point. It's getting really weird, but I want to continue it. I want to finish it. So I think that's what I'm going to do. How I'm going to pivot that just a little bit. You know, the life of a full-time working social media person thingy. I need a name for what I do. I'm not an influencer and I'm not like a social media star. Like those are the incorrect terms. I need a name for what it is that I'm doing here. And I don't know what it is. I'm sure it exists, but somebody tell me what that actually is, because I don't know. Anyway, Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So this one, if I remember correctly, it's just past midnight when Gabby asks Hannah if she's ready to go. Ethan quickly offers to give her a ride if she wants to stay. She hesitates, and it's kind of like, what happens if she goes and what happens if she stays, and we get to see both of those play out. So I think that's what that is about. So I'm excited to read this. Y'all know I love Taylor Jenkins Reid, so that will be my August book. I have to read this one in August. On to other things that I'm reading for reading challenges. I'm not going to directly tell you what this is for, so maybe you can continue living in suspense until the reading vlog for it comes out. But I'm sure you can guess if you just use some thinking skills. But maybe you're here watching this video not trying to use your thinking skills. So I'm going to leave a little bit of mystery in my life here. So we have Lessons in Chemistry. I feel like everybody knows what this book is about, but basically we have a woman who is in the STEM field. Is it the 70s, maybe the 60s? In the 60s. And basically they're like, you're a woman, you can't be doing boy stuff. And so she pivots her like science degree, her science knowledge into a cooking show, because that's apparently very appropriate for women. But I think it overall is a very positive situation that it turns into. So that's what this one is about. And I can't wait to read this. I've been seeing this everywhere. And I like specifically tracked down this cover because there's another cover of it and I absolutely hate it. And I read something where the author said she hated it too. It's the one with the girl with the ponytail and the sunglasses, because it's very much not indicative of what this book is about. It's kind of like antithetical to what the book is supposed to be, and just like is really genuinely a little bit offensive. So I tracked down this version of the cover for me. So I'm excited to read this one. In the same vein, I've got Misinterpretation. This one is about a woman who is a interpreter. Is she at the embassy somewhere? I can't remember. I feel like she works at an embassy perhaps, and she is an interpreter. And she basically is working with a person who she's interpreting for. And it kind of like stirs up a lot of like her own personal issues and bleeds over into her personal life. And we get to see how that intersects, how her work intersects with her like marriage and her own mental health and all that stuff. So I can't remember exactly what was going on with the client who she was interpreting for, but it's apparently fairly traumatic. So y'all know I like to go into my books fairly blind. So I'm intentionally not trying to specifically look and see exactly what the circumstances are. But in general, she's an interpreter, and the interpretation session that she's working on really just kind of like threw her for a loop. And so we get to walk through that with her. Very, very excited about reading this one. More in the reading projects, we've got Humble Pie, When Math Goes Wrong in the Real World. I'm actually buddy reading this one with my husband. He's a mathematician, a statistician, and I thought this would be a good one for us to read together. He has already started it. I spend a lot more time in my day reading books than he does. So by the time I pick this up, I'll probably catch up to him where he is in the book, because, I'll just spend 6 hours in my day reading and he's like, all right, I spent an hour reading, I'm good. Like, I'm going to move on to my next activity. So I'll probably catch up to him, but he's already started it. And so far, I think it's going okay. He did say he wasn't really learning anything, but I'm like, you're already a mathematician, so I might learn something from it, even though you didn't. Because I'm the opposite of a mathematician. Like, whatever that makes me, I'm that. Couldn't do math to save my life. So there's this one. I'm excited to read it. I think it's going to be very interesting. I will say my husband, like after I suggested this book, he did say he watches the author, this guy, on YouTube already. And I was like, well, perfect. Let's pick it up and do it. So there's that. I have challenged myself in 2026 to read more nonfiction. I would adamantly tell you in the past that I do not read nonfiction. I'm challenging myself to do that. And there's a couple of reasons why, but one of them is that I just really wanted to face more real world issues than I do. Currently, my real world issue facing is very centered on my career, which is where my degrees come from, which is very much food centered, population food centered. And those are real world issues that really do need a lot of work and a lot of solving, but it's getting to a point where it's getting a little bit frustrating and there's only so much that I personally can do about it. So I do want to immerse myself in other real world issues besides what I'm professionally involved in. And so I just thought, like, let's start with nonfiction books. That's an easy way to get into it, is with books, since I already love reading books. Like that, I feel like that's a good segue into, okay, now how can I help in this realm? So the first thing that I picked up for this is How to Hide an Empire, A History of the Greater United States. This one, I understand, is going to be a good education on some of our foreign policies and like the ways that we have accumulated all of these like territories and is it atolls, things like that we've accumulated. And we really are an empire, even though most people, I think when you think about it, or maybe this is me being American centric, but when you think about it, we're just the United States. And sometimes people say the United States plus Puerto Rico, but like we're not really thinking about all of the other like territories and situations that we have going on around the world where we exercise our extreme power. So this, I think, is going to be a good education in that. And so I picked that one up. And this one actually seems to be pretty popular right now. But yeah, you have like the US Virgin Islands, Guantanamo Bay, Bikini Atoll. I've never even heard of Saipan. I don't even know what that is. Yeah, I've got a lot of learning to do. What Swan Islands? I don't know what the Swan Islands are either. So I've got a lot to learn from this book. And my second nonfiction, well, I guess the math one is technically nonfiction, but that's not why I've got the math one. But my second, like intentionally, like I'm reading this nonfiction to learn things about things, is Black on Both Sides, A Racial History of Trans Identity. This one, I genuinely can't remember because I picked this book up a while ago, but I think it's just really about the intersection of being Black and being trans and how those things are, I was going to say how they work together, but that's what the intersectionality is about. Sabrina. I promise you guys I'm smart. But regardless, this one I've been told is a really, really good read. So I'm excited to read that one. Then we have Six of Crows. Now, I've been challenged to buddy read this with one of my newer friends. And I said yes, not thinking about the fact that I got not the time to commit to this. I do want to read this for Herkyed, for the number 6, but I think you're supposed to read the trilogy first. The Shadow and Bone, Ruin and Rise, Siege of Storms trilogy. That one. I think you're supposed to read that first. Have I read it? No. Am I going to just jump into Six of Crows anyway? Sure, why not? I did watch the first season of Shadow and Bone, so like maybe I won't be incredibly lost jumping in with this one, but it's going to be fine. I'm going to make it work. Now, I don't know if I actually have time for this. So I'm really going to try to squeeze this in, and to my bestie, who I said I would buddy read this with, and I said that I could probably fit it in August. We might have to push it to September. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And lastly, the Goodreads reading challenges. Now, you might have seen a video before where I was like, I have straight up beef with Goodreads because I did a whole reading vlog where I read nothing but books with the word summer in the title. And 2 days after I aired that reading vlog, they were like, guess what, besties? We have a new reading challenge. It's called Literally Summer. And it's for you to read a book with the word summer in the title. I just did that, friends. I just did that. And all 3 of the books that I read in that blog are part of that list. The temptation to change my reading dates on that so that they count for the actual challenge is very strong, but I'm going to play by the rules. But I do have to get my Goodreads reading challenge badge or bookmark or whatever. So I went through the list and I actually have like 8, 9 more books that are on that list. I already own them. But I picked out the 2 that I was the most interested in reading. And if we're being honest, they're the 2 shortest. You saw the stack. And a lot of the books in the stack are not incredibly lengthy, so that is helpful. But I wanted to keep up that theme since there were a lot of books. And so I chose two. One is The Summer I Turned Pretty, because I've actually genuinely just like not read this series yet. And this one, not only is it a little bit short, but it's YA. So like the text on the page, I don't know if you can see that, but the text is like a decent size. So this one I think would read pretty fast. And then I'll also know if I actually want to read this series or not, because if I don't, this is 3 books that can go in the unhaul pile and like don't have to be taking up room. And I can get some of you guys see behind me. There's like a stack of books on the floor. There's actually 3 stacks back there. I can get some of those off the floor and onto the shelves. My other option for this challenge is Our Secret Summer. It's a little bit longer, but look how pretty it is. So I can't really decide between the two of these. The Summer I Turned Pretty, I don't even know what this is about. I just know it's very popular. Someone gifted me this book. Each summer begins, Belly leaves her school life behind and escapes to Cousins Beach, the place she spent every summer of her life. Okay, she's chasing after a boy. Sounds great. And then in this one, Isabel has spent years tucked behind a desk, always doing the practical, predictable thing. But when her sister's untimely death leaves her alone with her sister's unfinished bucket list, she throws caution to the wind and hops on a flight to sunny Ibiza. I mean, I hate that her sister died, but this actually sounds low-key really fun. So I don't know. It's probably going to be a game time decision between the two of these, like which one I'm going to read. But those are the 2 options there. The last thing that I have is that I want to leave space for whatever the Her Kid side quest is going to be for the month of August. Those details are released on August 7th, I believe. Like it starts on August 7th. So I think the details are released either on like the 6th or the 7th. So I'm waiting for that so we can pick a book for that. So I'm holding space for that. So altogether, what do we have? Like 5 arcs and then 12 physical books, plus I'm holding space for the one. So that's a lot of books, man. I played myself because I really was like, you know what? I'm going to get through a bunch of books this month, but I'm not going to overload myself. And I think I've overloaded myself. This does feel like a lot of books. I'm not going to lie. So we will see what I can do. But let me know down below if you've read any of these, if you recommend any of them, if you unrecommend any of these, if you're like, absolutely not, that book was a waste of time and it's one that I should really put off and or just not read, because this feels hefty. Feels like a really hard assignment. So yeah, and then stay tuned. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel so that you can see the reading vlogs that come out of this. There's in my hand, I'm holding 1, 2, 3 reading vlogs that will be coming out in the next like month or 2. And then I've got one that's going to a reading vlog that's going to be at the end of the year, my 26 and 26. I'm recording along the way. And then one that's going to be on Instagram at some point in time. So there's a lot in my hands that's going to be recorded for you to see my reactions and thoughts to. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned. If you would not mind hitting the like button. I already told you to hit that subscribe button. So if you haven't done it yet, now's your second chance to do it. And with all of that said, I will just see you all in the very next video.